It's like adolescence, but with a baby. How fun. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Millennial Mama Memo, your weekly memo from your favorite Millennial Mama therapist, me. I'm Lauren, a late diagnosed ADHDer, mom of two, licensed therapist, and founder of Millennial Mama Therapy. I created this space for moms exactly like me who are figuring out who they are on the other side of motherhood. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. And if you're a regular, welcome back. Let's get into it. As always, we're going to start off with the Millennial Mama Mix, which is a little bit of everything on my radar as a millennial mom and person. And today, as I am recording this, it is currently Monday, May 11th, which is the day after Mother's Day. Mother's Day is complicated. Many of us realize how complicated it is before we become moms, if we have complicated relationships with our own mothers. But honestly, also a lot of us don't realize how complicated motherhood is until we become moms and we have a complicated relationship with ourselves and our own motherhood journey. And having a day to celebrate it when we have a lot of complicated feelings around it is challenging. I just want to start off by saying, in case nobody has said it to you yet, Happy Mother's Day, and thank you so much for everything that you do for everyone in your life. I hope that you were recognized and celebrated yesterday and that it was what you needed it to be, but just in case it wasn't, thank you. And also, you're a great mom and you're doing a great job. If you're worried that you're not a good mom, chances are you're actually a great mom because bad moms don't care. But only good moms care about being a good mom. Thank you for all that you do. And remember, as we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, good enough motherhood is the goal. Our kids don't need perfect parents. You don't need to be a perfect person. All we need is good enough. The research shows it. Also, in honor of Mother's Day, I wanted to just share a little bit of information about something called matrescence. And if you're like me, you had never heard this word before. Maybe not even after you became a mom. I did not hear about it until after I became a mom. When you hear the word matrescence, I want you to think adolescence. How adolescence is the life stage of transitioning from being a child into being an adult. That's exactly what matrescence is. It is the life stage of transitioning from being a human, an adult, a woman, a person, to being a human, person, adult woman who is also a mother. And just like I don't think very many of us would like to go back and repeat adolescence, matrescence is also really uncomfortable. And we feel very awkward and unsure of ourselves and uncomfortable in all aspects of who we are. A huge transition on all stages, on all fronts, biologically, hormonally, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, relationally, what society expects of us, what we expect of society, our values, how we see the world. It's a lot of big change happening while also trying to keep tiny human beings alive and not lose our marbles. It's like adolescence, but with a baby. How fun! Moving on to Pink Couch Post-its. These are updates, hot takes, and things worth knowing from the Millennial Mama universe. And today I wanted to share with you a little bit about the support groups that I offer. I really wanted to create something that was like the trifecta of motherhood accessibility. So free, virtual, and drop-in. You can show up in your nursing bra and you can show up on your break at work. You can show up every 7 weeks. You can come one time and not come back again, and it is free because I really wanted there to be an option for moms to create community and have there be like a very low barrier to entry. And the two support groups that I offer, one is called Mama Mess Hall, and that is available to any mom anywhere across any stage of motherhood. The second one that I offer is called the Break Room, and that is specifically for moms who are also space holders in some capacity. And the reason why I created that differentiation is because a lot of times for moms who are space holders or in a professional capacity work with moms and families, it can be really hard to show up to community-based support groups because if participants in the group find out that you are an ER nurse or a lactation consultant, or suddenly you're not just there as a mom, you're kind of there also as a subject matter expert. So that's why I created the Break Room. So both of my support groups are available on Mondays. In fact, after I record this, I'm going to go and host Mama Mess Hall and the Break Room. And I'm very excited about that because I genuinely love getting to start off my weeks with these groups. If you think about it in the road trip capacity, it's almost like every single one of us is on our own road trip. And this is like where we all kind of like pause and intentionally meet up to check in. And sometimes we are problem solving together, like my engine is making a weird sound or whatever, going with the road trip analogy here. And sometimes we are just like laughing until we cry. Sometimes we are crying and holding space for really sad or challenging things, but I honestly love it so much. And it was actually very sweet over Mother's Day weekend to see how many people in the community spaces were just sending messages back and forth and being able to hold space and recognize one another for the motherhood journeys that we are all on. So if any of that sounds interesting, you can head to the link in my bio. And if you're unsure which one is right for you, feel free to shoot me a message and I will absolutely help you figure that out. Moving on to the favorites folder, which is good things that I can't stop talking about that you should know about. I have 2 things this week and they're kind of interrelated. One is called Brick. And Brick is a device that allows you to brick your phone. It allows you to set schedules. And I personally really love it because as somebody with ADHD, I have a very hard time shiny object syndrome. So getting notifications and I'm like, ooh. And then also on top of that, I have a hard time remembering to uninstall an app off my phone and then reinstall it. And recently decided that I'm not going to use social media on the weekends. And so this last weekend was my very first time doing it. And it was so lovely because I was able to automatically set the schedule in the app and brick my phone. And it had my social media blocked all weekend. And then this morning coming back to work, everything was unbricked and accessible. And I just loved that it took this mental load off of me of having to remember I don't want to be using social media right now. So highly recommend it. And what's really nice is you can unbrick your device. You just have to physically go to the device and use the NFC function on your phone to unbrick your device. It just makes things more intentional. Now, the other thing that I want to share is something that I've been loving for a while, but this weekend, while my phone was bricked, pulled out this thing that I haven't used in a while, and it is the One Color coloring book. What I like about it is that each page is just one color. And so it's kind of mindless. You just pick the color and you just start coloring. And it just is mindless, but it's tactile and you have a beautiful finished product. I'm sure you can find them all over the place. This one is specifically from the company Still and Slow. And I also bought the markers from them. And my ADHD brain loves getting to shut off for a minute and I will just color and I will listen to a podcast or listen to an audiobook, and it's just a really lovely way to take a brain break. And also my kids find it kind of interesting and fun too. They'll pull out their coloring books and we'll all color together, or sometimes they like to pick what color I'm going to use next. All right, friends, that brings us to one last thing, which is where I share all the ways that we can work together. I have consultation calls available every single week, and those are the best way to start working with me if you're wanting to work with me in a clinical sense. For the support groups, you do not need consultation calls, but for everything else you do. And remember, road trip analogy, it's our road trip planning. Are we going the same direction? Do you like my kind of route or map, my approach to how we do road trips and things like that together? So if you're interested in working with me, either in individual therapy with the Back to Me method, couples therapy, or accelerated resolution therapy, your consultation call is the best place to start. You can go to the link in my bio to view my availability and book your consultation call. For my provider pals, I also wanted to remind you that I have this partnership opportunity of exploring how we can support one another in our practices of making mental health more accessible to your patients and also reducing your load when it comes to supporting mental health as it comes up for your patients. So if you are a provider in the perinatal space, whatever specialty you are in, and you have patients who come to you with mental health concerns or challenges and things like that in that season of their life, please come talk to me because I would love to talk to you and see if there's a way that we can work together to provide care for everybody. I would really love to start seeing that we shift mental health care from being reactive to proactive and actually getting to support parents and families before they end up in crisis. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to connect. All right, friends, that is your Millennial Mama memo for the week. You have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next week.